Hey there, friends on YouTube. My name is Jason, sometimes known as the JTL. This is Painfully Honest Tech, so honest it hurts. And today, we have here in this white package, this is the OXS Thunder Light. And we're going to get it out of the package, walk through what it does, and maybe a little sound sample on Painfully Honest Tech here today. So let's go ahead and cut it open, making sure not to cut anything important, which we have not done. Got the Bluetooth. So this, I believe, solves a lot of problems that gamers have when they have big setups and they want to get speakers involved. There are not a lot of products out there that give you quality sound in a smaller speaker that will fit underneath your monitors and that kind of thing. I see all kinds of crazy things these days. Streamers or gamers or even YouTubers will have giant speakers that they place up here above their monitors, or they place like down here on their side, or they have little Logitech computer monitors, which are good for just basic use, but not good for actually listening to anything that you care about, not music, let alone games. So let's go ahead and get this guy out of the box, walk through it, and see what we have in store. Look in here, we've got full range bass drivers with a bass tube. Now that's a bass reflex tube. If you're not familiar with how bass reflex works, it basically acts like a passive subwoofer where it gathers and throws extra bass out of this tube, and that way you get the impression of a subwoofer, or the impression of something that has more bass than it really does. A lot of speakers have been built with these bass reflex tubes in them. It's a very good way to get more bass without more speakers. Virtual surround sound for also very good. Kind of solves the problem that I was talking about a second ago. 5 audio inputs for gaming, console, or PC. The box includes the speaker, power cable, optical, and looks like a couple of HDMIs, and a remote, and some literature. So let's go ahead and pull this guy out. It's not too heavy. Which is good. Again, this is just the right size to kind of fit underneath your 27-inch monitor or something that size. Nice kind of fabric covered here. There are 2 full range drivers in here, drivers being speakers, in case you didn't know. And then the bass reflex tubes, which you can see here, so that, as I said, this sort of collects and punches out extra low end. It has a mounting bracket hole here, so you can mount it on the wall or something like that. We've got input, volume up, volume down, power, volume up and volume down, and we'll have to look and see what this one is. And then here in the back, we have power, optical in, Type-C in, HDMI in, and auxiliary in, as well as a Bluetooth input. So all in all, a nice form factor and quality, well-made OXS, it's pronounced OXS Thunder Light. So they have a whole line of these guys. I believe this is the smallest one. Let's put this over here and go ahead and check out the accessories box. First thing that we're met with is the remote control. So it's got this little battery tab. You just pull that right out. That connects the battery with its terminuses. Mute switch, power button, input, VTS, optical, Bluetooth, and then volume up and down. So nice and compact. You could just Velcro this to the underside of your desk or something like that. Work very well. Then we have all the different specifications here and the user's manual. All right, so number 4, virtual surround sound is this button right here, button that we weren't sure about. So that's virtual surround sound, volume up, volume down, power, virtual surround, and input selector, all available right there on the top of the device. So that's good. To install this thing, it's pretty simple. You got your power cord, you got your power button. You want to connect the HDMI cable and set that to HDMI, connect the optical cable, and then of course the Bluetooth pairing. Press the input button until it blinks, and then you of course go through the Bluetooth pairing like usual. Then it walks through how to set it up for Mac and Windows. Pretty self-explanatory if you've ever connected anything like that, but not very hard to follow along if you haven't connected with stuff like that in the past. Here we have our USB-C cable. It's USB-C to USB-A. Then we have our power connector. This is a wall wart plug to a barrel plug, and it's a 15 volt 2 amp output. So let's get this hooked up and give it a little sound test. What do you say? First, annoying sandwich bag thing. I'm gonna put this over the side and power in. So now I'm going to connect the USB-C to USB-A cable, and then we'll select it as our output and we'll see how it sounds. Type C, and then let's go down here, hit this. Okay, so once you get it plugged in, what you have to do is go over here to your sound panel. If you're on Mac, it looks like this. You go to sound, and then you'll see input, and you can choose OXS S2, output OXS S2. And here's something that I got a little stuck on, and it took me a second to figure out what was going on. I was getting no sound there for a little bit, and then I realized that the output was all the way down, unbeknownst to me, and I had to bring it up here. Actually, I went into the audio MIDI setup and found that. And so just make sure that your output volume is set all the way up, and you should be good. Now we're going to look at some footage from Battlefield 5 and listen to the difference between the regular mode and the virtual surround mode in gaming. We're going to start off with the virtual surround sound off. So this is with the virtual surround off. And now we'll switch it on. Off. Back on. Switch it off. Back on. There really is a huge difference between the regular mode that doesn't have the virtual surround sound on and the virtual surround sound. The virtual surround sound it does bump it up in volume, but there's also more low end. There's also more directionality. There really is sort of a really pronounced left and right field there. So it's really a cool sound for gaming. I think if you had this on your desk and you just didn't want to wear a headset and had this in front of you, the virtual surround sound mode is great for this kind of FPS game. And I'm sure it would be great for all other kinds of games, RTS, FPS, MMO, whatever it is that you do. Very, very impressive spread in terms of the sound field, and it sounds really good. If you're somebody who's looking for some kind of desktop sound system that isn't big speakers or something like that, and you want to hear your gaming or your computer sound incredibly well, then this is absolutely right for you. 5 inputs, including Bluetooth, including USB-C, 2 full-range drivers, bass ports, as well as 3D surround sound for FPS and RTS gaming. A very compact desktop format. This is probably about 15 inches or so, 15, 16 inches. So a good size for most desktops. And of course, it's got 5 audio inputs for gaming, PC. If you want to use it with your TV, you can do that. This is a very nice solution for people who don't have a lot of space but want some good sound. Thank you so much to OXS for sending this over and sponsoring a video so I could take a look at it. If you have any questions about this, let me know down in the comments below. I'll be right there answering your questions. If you have any interest in subscribing to the channel, please do, right down there below. And I will really appreciate it. And say hi when you do, because it's always nice to say hello. And I'll say hi back. How's that? Anyway, thanks so much for being here. I really do appreciate it. Once again, my name's Jason, sometimes known as the JTL. This is Painfully Honest Tech. Tech so honest it hurts. Until the next time, I'm out.